What's up, people? Might stream to 3 locations. I don't know, maybe you guys care. You will be confused if I said I didn't say I did. I think let's start by streamer reading his book, and then maybe this Game of Thrones. I think you're the right people to show. James didn't put up his telephone. It's not everything you want advice that basically means I've been in the future. Look at these pictures. This is the future, said Porpoise, convinced by London pictures. This looks like London. It is. The battle run dead for 1,000 years, but now you know. I've seen this magic before, said Raphael, complicating everything. James took a sound to Raphael and Porpoise the victory sign. Look at this weapon too. Its bullets can pierce almost anything. An arrow that goes through any metal. Oh, you said it can weapons against wizards. Wizards? Raphael said, James, listen, we're in a time where Charlemagne has the power to destroy the world. He doesn't even need an army for this. To make him believe in man again. Just whispering to his ear, scary something west over West Europe, then the world. There's yet in all the rainbow's colors, but mostly purple, stuck the porpoise, stealthy, and thus hither. I did unto them as the Hamster did unto the procured and thusly. You are terrible wizards and porpoise. Is purple. Wizards have us a meter in diameter. Yes, those kind of wizards that did expect things they needed about 50% of the time as far as could break concrete. Eugene was strolling about London with James talking about profound ancient times. Sometimes the questions were I started asking somebody of the past. The captain to a powerful force that was no longer in the city. They really did get a Spanish guitars, most likely to play a certain thrashy style that were invented at age 800 in Spain. Spion, yeah, because for bandits jumped down behind them, they were huge. The only surprise was the cat had reflexes counter shot one in the neck, pretty little though against the helmet. That was good for you. You'll run away, little man, said Eugene with a German accent in serious mode. In fighting mode. With exiled kings got Erebus III, they won't beat us with swords. They're not usually conscious with a single blow of some parrying. She forgot Meter as her weapon left her hands. slowly. Push her to the ground. You'll be afraid of me, she spoke in center. Gather on there, blah blah blah, said the man with the goblin voice. He was punched in Carolman to the out his fist and threw a hammer on the way down. I know you people, descended from very racist. Good thing I blurred that out, right? But we see that the when you do this against African British man, who's gonna beat the crap out of you. You're not unconscious with this kite shield, then tore his fingers into his skull and split his entire upper body into two. Simple. He crushed the throat of the second one and pulled it out both ways. Forwards. Non-spinning kick. They cannot beat his strength. He dares a lot of dirty blood to the goblin man. James threw the armored body onto the Black Leather King's skull and pinned him down. I am dead, dead. Pressing life shapes is succulent. Put his katana through his mouth and blood executed him for the gods upwards. Let's take their money, unconscious Eugene. I am proud to write such anti-racist stuff. It's not really much of a threat though, because I am very tired. It's just like with the money, James wanted brought a seriously big 200 sword for 40 to be this wide at the guard, another layer of sharpness up to the halfway point. Where it narrowed, it looked like a holy blade, red gem in the middle, gold and silver colored. Was a straight exclusive weapon. Reach. If you like to learn Draconic magic from the unsuperior son of a dance, I'd like to send you on a mission to Castle Draconis. Castle Dracons have been turning people into military vampires the last year in armies against Britain. We are building an army. Whatever, I don't feel like reading that. Surprising the vampire teleport him. Surprising the vampire to Castle Draconis. He felt. But you can think of a cooler name. Right, cooler name. Here. Felt as though he stepped into a barrier as went to the Black Castle. Was it better here or worse? Maybe not the castle was cursed. Spirit to irony. 2 fully plate armored vampires. This. and let's play down our vampires with serious jawlines and jaw muscles. Let's do Stood Frey and Thirsty. Extra throw 2 luxurious body emitter fires. Golden pedestals. The vampires here look gritty and battle worn from the one fast, looking intelligently for a command. Expensively dressed vampires all around. So orange, black. Twice as long figures, some of those look like handmaidens. In front of the throne stood a black red vampires with large breasts around red heart. As you would expect with large red bosom, as you would expect from a vampire like this. Speak with his proposition, abandon your deep voice almost. Gary James said, to say they must know why you're breeding vampire military. Vampires are smart and strong at race in Britain. It's terribly to say. Somebody thought it was funny when someone said this because he was smarter and stronger. Yes, we can see this scene of mild extravaganza and dressing, James spoke. Is there any way we can stop turning people into vampires with diplomacy or enough coin? Are you not so intelligent? On the side, she said, I don't deny its nature to be bloodthirsty. It depends on the species. No, we will not adhere to these claims right now. He started leaving slowly. Took a maid also with similar shape to his side. The few weapons used to cause blood will be spilled. It's just like common as the vampires are like a different race. Maybe it's true. Who knows? I should tell you. You lie. An opulent guard pretended to drop his spear and threw a throwing knife. He blocked the knife with her stomach, then slit her throat like an assassin. She ripped his two-handed sword from his back and shot deep into someone's shoulder. Using some magic, there is observed against it. Filled his catch with kinesthetic power, while the full-pellet vampire came flying like a ghoul. Half in darkness. No, the sentence is too long. James thrust his catch into his chest, green blinding power, carrying his chest plates with a deafening, merciful bang. He flew across the room. He did not get up. This rendezvous random would be a reckoning ergo awaited our creations. He impacted the straw on the 8th of the room, so he went to the second. Now 6 feet of almost over him. The red hot vampire came flying. Ghoul too. Dark stick fly with fangs, she shouldn't have. He swung a long range warhammer. She fell down on her chest. Before she got up, there was a bird of warhammer in her skull. Eros wants to share her fate. She licked the brains of the warhammer. Vampires were appalled and shocked. Most of death is important. Inquisitor Irene. Kill him, a voice at the corner. Cordoval audible in this direction. He starts his instinct to die, so barely scraped the shield. Then to turn around. Turn a few degrees and paraclaw in darkness. I'm so fast don't get no time to think. What was it that he saw? A red death knight looking vampire with blue glowing eyes, some seriously thick armor, held his palm in both hands. Him. You would better be satisfied, Monger, and dispel regret and the creations. He appeared to darkness again. attack. James barely saw shield and blade as he apparently listened to his animal and listened like an animal to his instincts. Instantly more time with vampires who started hitting through steel chest plates like butter. Ever lost in power, his keen killing machine senses tore impossibly. He expected the vampire to shot behind him, so an executing slash behind indeed showed up. He was slicing from liver to shoulder. After the night exploded in a frost nova, screaming a bit like a killed aristocrats, James remembered. A face painted with blood, with the splash of gem-clad vampires. Right from guards while pouncing the back of his victims, dagger and buckler, just mid-negated his sword, thirsty worthy. Yeah, I know it's just suddenly a lot of reading, maybe, but it's um, it's because of streaming before. Uh, yeah, let's start reading books. It's going to be my own book and another one. Ba-ba. Swedish passion with dead victim. Running away from guards while pouncing the back of his victims, dagger and buckler. Rank misdelegated his sword thirsty worthy. Got the corner after chasing the vampires two spirits against one, as shield is so useful in a corner. Looked off their feet with one of the warhammers somebody dropped, quickly executed with impunity, or to go to their feet. First he grabbed one archer vamp in the shoulders and pulled his arms off. Stuff one in his butt, stuff one in his mouth. On knocking him to the floor with the second one broke in the exhaustion. The last guard parried one blow, but then started to retreat. His stamina decreased as he whispered the words Light Hunger to his warhammer, impact magic. He understood how this impact magic worked now. Like a Sui made a jumping hammer thrown, it caught the vampire in the stomach and he flew out the window. More guards were coming, he had to be more efficient. His sword with invisible speed sliced six to the ground, one slice before the other entered. He went for an impact kick that tore the guard into two pieces, flying backwards, his attack from behind. He held his sword high, behind his head to parry, turned around and parried again. A sickeningly powerful blow came from the vampire behind. A sickening blow. The vampire, with his own magic, behind the guard that made him glide backwards 2 meters despite putting up a shield. Started charging and stabbed the professor in the stomach chin and gained momentum or spreading steps the amount of someone as heavy chase. So it's really something special. I've also experienced once. It pushed those two vampires into the wall. A sword went through the stomach of the first and into the second. A vertical slice came from the vampire behind. Hit him in the arm with his blade gauntlet and pulled his sword left out of the stomach of the two victims. I'm picking up something. I think it's from Kickchat. Yeah, you're like an unlucky person that brings bad stuff because how you treat things, accept things, and how you do things. Stop doing that. You don't help anybody. Spiritual rabbit. First vampire with an Eric falling to the ground. James smashed the side of his head. The vampire behind ran at the ground with a spear. forked spear. James uses his great kite shield, cleverly against the powerful assault when Vampire bent on his knees, so they dropped the weapon because of his wounds. They smacked him unconscious with his pommel, maybe would never wake again. Up the stairs glimpsed the vampire and smashed him in the chest with a warhammer. He broke through the wall but got back up. James parried his skeleton looking fled with the shield, charged him and took his head and smashed through the wall back into the corridor. He stabbed in the neck before he got up. Perfect sentence there. But I need to write something, you know. Closure. That's the finity of life, right? Finiteness. In the castle, he flew like bottled death until they reached the top, reaping of souls, systemic blood, a soothing, minimalist, and water evisceration. It was what it needed to be. Holy two-handed sword, song of war, maybe instead of peace. In one room, he saw human experiments, one full of humans doing cocaine, another illustrious cooking with butchery. Atop he found a corridor into another tower of 30 prisoners. He ripped the lock, gave some off with his left hand, and said, "Generally think it was a good idea. Follow me, I'll protect you." We see vampires with a golden dagger, white circle guard of God in the middle, like a compass. The dagger, he took it. Back at the entrance, they were met two extravagantly clothed and jeweled vampires entering the castle. "Hamster of Satan, what have you done?" The prisoner came up and put a dagger into his stomach. The vampire made comic noises to his knees. "Ugh. Take to the treasure room, we'll let you live. There are no more aristocrats, you are finished." Alright, fine, I can see what's going on here. The vampire started speaking productively and quickly. Then the prisoner stopped and followed James. "We did a little kidnapping and skewed annual taxes, never telling where we got our power and magic." They would never tell where we got our power and magic. We're here now, but I don't have the key. James punched through the wall. Sure enough, there were riches there. Goblets, necklaces, sapphires, jewelry, crowns, jade figurines, barren opals speaking through shape and beauty. Spies, no price. Okay, aristocrat, I'm supposed to keep up this place clean. Convince me not to kill you. I'm not an aristocrat, liar does. Lol. Okay, but that was the clever one. I had to try. Become a military threat, James got to the point. There are others, and other castles. I can tell them we not stand for their actions. We give up now, or attack. Excellent, go, James said. James surveyed the additional treasure and took the smallest valuable things, mostly looking items, the dwarf-headed coin. To be rich, you must have different coins. Go to Forex. Everyone got the spoils, thus the governor says, "Let's get out of here. Follow the group out. Recommend I take the riches for your suffering." I can't do so, Amiga man. I guess I'm protected to windshield, but danger isn't over. I'll do some rage looking prisoner with 2 daggers. Well, we don't carry too much, I think. Run through the forest with 1 casualty in the forest voices, 1 to a troll, if you want to teleport back. Let me go to the bathroom. I've only drunk 4 liters of soda. Back in London, he found problems with dangerous in the city. Jan said, "Saw you coming." Then he stopped looking and ate a baguette. I'm taking to your base of operations. Looked like a tavern. Hail, friends, and Raphael back in the tavern. Remember, hail can be used in a way that's not racist, and most of the time I don't think it is. I figured out why they're making an army. I think they are racially superior. You kill them all. Quite a deep pursuit, I say. Quite, yes. You mean the aristocrats, right? They're all dead. With hammer and sword, they die with impunity, thus their guards. Perhaps a formidable opponent and expect to kill so many. Caravan, that makes things easier. Appreciated. A set of vampires that are others that will not give up or attack. Wasn't how they calls it in Britain, but we were prepared for these attacks anyway. Anyways, I have 3 prisoners with me either. You can send to the Duke, maybe. If they were in prison, they don't put it in the castle. I'll be there for 9 months. Don't know whether the professor being held prisoner. Sickening experience to my butt cheeks and left elbow. Can't believe the door was ripped open after hearing fighting downstairs in a mostly the toothless, curly, brown mustached man. Very looked naughty. They were kidnapping everyone and making them pay for release at least. See perhaps a courtesy, said James. On Highlands, looking at place with Yansid. We can teach you as about to look white Yansid if you try to hold racism, or to change the minds of onlookers. Suppose that can be impossible. There is no proved A or B decision. It was logical like a number. And it's put the visor down. There is no James. See through your armor. No, you can't, Yansid. I can teach you magic to become stronger permanently and temporarily. That should be an interesting first, right? Hey Twitch, I'm streaming to YouTube as well. That'll do it for an introduction. Finally, Jens is spoken about something he was competent in, a different wizard of surprising confidence. Magic is just dominance like spiritual work can drain you, or even swinging swords. Someone say the right words, use the right item, right moves, and think about the right thing, often more than one. Using magic is like taking part of your organs, telling them to act like a tail. Might take a while. Preparing with rest and meditation similar to physical exertion. Need magical power practice, spiritual lessons, items, food, and manner of violence. There is no spoon, said James. No way, said Jansen. My lifetime is the impact spell empowering your sword or shield. Focus to use the shockwave. How? See about concentrating a shockwave enough times, gather apart from the earth time use, slam hands like a baron. Some of the shockwave well, eventually you won't even that. So the shockwave is just an exterior, also practice. What's the powerful magic? Alerts are easy. Use your spiritual energy into an arrow, throw an object, whisper Fossen, like blazing the blue purple and go through objects, laser. If you make too much effort of a magical after a spell, you're gonna pass out. Your mind needs to handle the spell. If you the wrong things, wrong words, put a spell effort into it, you might die. You want to know something like this stimulating? I know, James. Now, yes, it's after with swagger and stroll down insane land. Good job what you need. We need to grab it with emotion. Get upset as desperate and use primal heavy communication. It's the basis of all magic. They have the charge to their head. We can erase magic too. Patson for me use the Arbalist. Fossen is meditation. I will shoot without firing the Arbalist. Then slap his cheeks and make the other shadows shoot without firing. Like he's like a clapping lamp, lightning. Fossil to James, Stardust placed like a fresh fireplace. Eric James to his knees. Too much effort, not enough balance, steady your channel. Oh, nice, made it blaze on the first try. You can use this word to screw with an enemy monster crackish must see what happens. Can absolutely make somebody say that they thought of summons. He's a little on a long fart, lit a meter long inferno, small stream out of his buttocks, searing the vegetation. Damn that ass can fart. You're supposed to tell yourself that, Jensen, or anyone. When James looked just the perfect buttocks. Keep practicing what I told you, it's enough for first lesson. Obviously the second should challenge you. Arnold the Scot was pleased to see James coming again with another order. I threw the adamant warhammer out the window. James was honest and to the point in carelessness in the NTP. I was displeased actually. What was an enemy? Laughed Arnold. It didn't break, but at least the window did, you know. You can have another hammer, 50% off, Snort. Keep making it like keep buying in. I guess I'm emotionally displeased. Arnold, the bed closer. Don't throw them away. I have a footholds for this knife as well. Show the compass dagger. It's like a piece of art, and it's art easy to understand. Let Elf make custom work. Right now, you can have a dagger. I think you can reinforce the kite shield with adamant and spikes. Can add another layer of element. Outside she won't be too heavy. Right? Can hit some of this from 50 meters. Maybe I'll keep the sandals, maybe not. Browsing the Wild's original story, I actually found fenugreek seeds, tea, which is on a yeast under a different name. I was very happy you could keep eating it. Get us rely on your surroundings for the best possible protein, but finding it again was finding a dear friend, a protein friend. For protein, you could do with less. Even just for upkeep, you can make a mess of very little, otherwise if you have to visit cheap dairy, meat, and beans. I didn't like eating meat, it's not a good protein source, just fried cheese isn't. I prefer protein powder. This probably diets like a raw food, vegetarian, keto veganism. Who wouldn't want to build muscle with increased testosterone? Being but it was fun for sure. Even energy, more muscular, lifting heavy weights next to people starting with their breath right in their face. Like maintaining his blood pressure and cholesterol, etc. Just like I did with other doctors. You know, this is kind of boring unless I remove that one. An incredible 28 heartbeat. It was so conditioned didn't even beat once every 2 seconds. Like I was keeping the water for 5 minutes. That's why he talked so much. At least it was a feeling. I really thought things to talk about. But actually, I was a decent brain. It was our best news can eat against steroids was also the vegan diet. This is just a joke. I just want to make things clear, very clear, that just because I write about steroids doesn't mean that I ever consider doing that, where it's not a tip to anybody who took those steroids and it's just started out as a joke, right? I thought it would be funny. First twist, this big muscular Giga Chad with his power, not only from whatever, but also steroids. That's it. Can't say anything is different. Next day, yes, I thought James the series of arson fire. Also the arson between colleagues, wording against it, James said. It's not eating metallic like kind of beans locally made. It's not with the oven slap. We give this measure capsaicin because you can channel your fear emotions better. We're just getting hotter and unreasonable, say El Fushina. James hands to the glowing pill. Piggy Rodney slapped at Harvey James saw the funny was a giant hamster. Dummy. About this rod. There's nothing I'm hiding in the book, right? It's just a book. His method wrote eventually was good at this. However, a furnace buttering mana quick. Excellent. Try breathing fire on your hand like you're blowing fairy dust and think about dancing inferno. Be emotionally adaptable if needed. Unreasonable. Be fire. I don't like these capital letters actually. Maybe the people. We couldn't muster many flames. Maybe the people. He tried to blow fire from molten hands, but just made the fire hands hotter. There's no ways to light something on fire like speed dating, said Jensil. I don't see the connection at all. His British hands like a didgeridoo and he felt his stamina turn to sick mental fatigue. As you notice, he got them over 35% bonus magical stamina last time. Perhaps more yourself, light fruits and vegetables develop magical spells and regards with it, also to dark reality, among other things. What even eat anything with a shadow? This is probably the strongest practicing stake again incantatum. Or to sound even more like old Scandinavian. It requires this less use of energy today for growth and 30 minutes of altar meditation. Some of that get up and do it in the middle of the night. It's what makes you smarter, they say. Deep in the unconscious, you must go. Don't get a seizure. Can I combined fire with impact magic? Yes, some combinations are stronger. Some useless, like fried chicken lollipops, or just fried chicken. Good fried chicken joke. These two mana rings also mean onyx both increase your magical stamina. Got this amethyst. As long as you drain your metabolism, such it will make you hungrier. I'll make it work. For 20 days and 29 days, practice combinations, meditate, and had learned magic. Twice a day, extensive bodyweight workouts, which is weight. For 70 kilos of muscle, sometimes just the right amount. If you do body workouts, you still have to increase the weight you will plateau. Then an hour run. Use the leg press and the shoulder machines. Everyone like the leather shoulder machines, but they don't give any muscle. 100 push-ups, no claps, subtracted. Resistance distance for horizontal speed, 1 arm pull-ups with changing grips of the biceps. Sit-ups with like loads in the stomach. For legs, use heavy objects like barrels of water or rock. Squat. Squat. The squat should change your entire lower body perfectly. Every muscle, even feet, takes the testosterone. The entire body. All you need to do is get deep. When you take steroids, you don't seem to get tired in the same way from repetitions. Stadium taught them seeming to make him stronger after exercise and offer different stuff each time. More than repetitions than weight. But this was feel like it was eating away at his heart and strengthening it. It shows him. Take the like a healing machine. It shows the kind of stuff that make you lose everything you stop for a sloppy hand. Now how do you do this naturally? He bought a Spanish guitar, played future music like math metal and Meshuggah and thrash metal sleeve for his friends. Satanic with his church, saying times. He tried to play as heavy and complicated as possible, like the after the Holy Sin Order. This gave him the world's first metal appearance. That's what the 10 most common future airborne guitar songs. In the future with just electric distorted instruments, Dave said it's the coolest thing I ever heard, said Eugene. Works like a those workings. Electricity. Well, whatever, maybe that's enough. Let's switch books. Here's an actual satanic song on the Satanist by Satanist called the Satanist. Nice, it's pretty chill black metal actually. Look, I'm gonna put the book here and read from it. I won't. Maybe you didn't. The door to the moment solar was wide open. The arrow plunged through. John stopped in the doorway, blade in hand, giving his eyes a moment to adjust. Heavy drapes had been pulled across the windows. Darkness was black as ink. Who's there? He called out. Then he saw the shadow in the shadows, starting towards the inner door that led to Mormon's sleeping cell. A man shape, all in black, cloaked and hooded. Beneath the hood, its eyes shone with an icy blue radiance. Ghost leapt. Yeah, I guess they brought the corpse over there to Castle Black. Ghost leapt. Man and Wolf went down. Yeah, this is equally fine. This is just like, it's only copyrighted if I take a picture of every page, right? Besides, it's um, Ghost leapt. The man and Wolf had out here with neither scream nor a snarl, rolling, smashing to a chair, looking over a table laden with papers. Mom's dream was flapping over her, screaming, corn, 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 corn. John fell as bad as Master Aemon, keeping the wall to his back. He slid towards the window and ripped down the curtain. It's cool, right? Reading from a book on stream. I don't think that's shouldn't. Please, it's. I don't see how that should be a problem at all, honestly. Moonlight flooded the solar. He glimpsed black hands buried in the white fur, swollen dark fingers tightening around the starry wolf's throat. Ah, Ross was twisting and snapping, legs flailing in the air, but he could not break free. He had no time to be afraid. He threw himself forward, shouting, bringing down the long sword, all his weight behind it. Steel sheared through sleeve and skin and bone, yet the sound was wrong somehow. Smelling of them was so queer and cold he almost gagged. So arm and hand on the floor, black fingers wriggling in a pool of moonlight, was wrenched free at the other hand and crept away, red tongue lolling from his mouth. The man lifted his pale moon face, and John slashed it without hesitation. Sword leading through the room, open to the bone, taking off half his nose and opening a gash each cheek. Oh, it's gonna be something I can make to make Chad feel better and not like um, she and those eyes like blue stars burning. John knew that face, Othor. He thought reeling back God's his dad. Instead, I saw him dead. He felt something scrubbed at his ankle. Black fingers clawed at his calf. Thumb was crawling up his leg, ripping at wool and flesh. Shadow his revulsion. John pried the fingers off his leg with the point of his sword and flipped the thing away. A writhing, fingers opening and closing. The corpse there shows no blood. One arm, face cut near in half, seemed to feel nothing. Took the long sword before him. Stay away, we commanded, his voice gone shrill. Corn, screamed the raven. Corn, corn. Several arms wriggling out of its torn sleeve. pale as snake, black five-fingered head. Ghost pounced and got between his teeth. Finger bones crunched. Ugh. John hacked the corpse's neck. The steel bite deep and hard. The rod had slammed into him, knocking him off his feet. Yeah, it's pretty unrealistic with a body. Despite cutting into it, it still is just as dangerous. Zombie theory. John's memory went out of him as the fallen table caught him between his shoulder blades. The sword, where was the sword? It was a damn sword. It was about to scream, the white, and his back corpse finger into John's mouth, gagging. He tried to shove it off, but that now was too heavy. Its hand forced itself further down his throat, icy cold choking him. Its face was against his own, filling the world. Frost, damn, it writes pretty fucking well. Frost covered its eyes, sparkling blue, and raked cold flesh with his nails. He kicked the thing's legs, tried to bite, to punch, tried to breathe. So the corpse weight was gone, his fingers ripped from his throat. All John could do was roll over, pushing his shaking. He was hiding again. He watched the direwolf bury his teeth in the white's gut, get rip and tear. He walked on half conscious for a long moment until he finally remembered to look for his sword. Saw Lord Mormont, naked and groggy from sleep. To the doorway with an oil lamp in hand, gnawed and fingerless, the arm thrashing the floor, wiggling towards him. He heard a shout, his voice was gone. Staggering to his feet, he kicked the wrong way and snatched the lamp from the old bear's fingers. The flame flickered and almost died. Burned the raven called burn, burn, burn. Spinning, John saw the drapes dripped from the window. On the lamp into the puddle cloth with both hands. Metal crunch, I shouted oil spewed and hangings. Up in a great whoosh of flame. The heat on it, on his face, was sweeter. And the kiss John never known. Ghost, he shouted. The elf wrenched free and came to him as the white struggled to rise, dark snake spilling from the great wound in its belly. Plunged his hand to the flames, got a fistful of the burning drapes, whipped them at the dead man. Let it burn, he prayed as the cloth smothered the corpse. Ghost, please, please let it burn. Bran, isn't he fucking... No, he's not dead, it's just handicapped. Right, of course. He doesn't even die at all. The car starts came at an old windy morning, bringing 300 horsemen and near 200 as a foot from their castle car hold.